the 1st century BC to the 4th century AD. As time goes by, the city also expanded into different areas towards the area of the port itself, which was on the other side of this bay. The big opening down was the hippodrome, the chariot racing grounds, which was a very important Roman sport at the time and present in just about every Roman city. Next to it, they also placed a small coliseum where they had men fighting beasts until death at the sunset. Very primitive kind of concept that they had here about culture, combined with very cultural events that took place in the theater, almost side by side, and orchestras and things like that. Herod himself, he became a client king upon behalf of the Romans as a young man appointed by Caesar Augustus. He came here the year 40 BC. He had a lot of resistance. The Jewish people say, who is he, a son of a convert, to become our king? Because they expected high priest to be their king. It was time when the temple was still active. But Herod succeeded to do it. 3 years he has a lot of opposition. He was very ruthless, and no opposition was left. And then he started amazing building projects throughout the whole country. He loved his palaces. He has a major palace in Jerusalem, but then Jerusalem gets too cold in the winter, so he has big palaces in Jericho below sea level. And if that's not enough, when he comes to visit the employers, the Romans, he needs to have a palace here, and in the very end of this path, on the sea reef, he builds a palace that is surrounded 3 ways by water, and in the center of it, in a place with no fresh water, he builds a swimming pool. The area we are standing here was most likely the king's courtyards, where he would come to address, the officials would come to address the crowd. It is very possible that in later days when Paul was in prison, it was some dungeon just close to where we are. We know also that later Paul came out and had the chance to speak about Messiah to Agrippa II and his wife Berenike, Festus, when they came here, and almost were convinced about the truth of that happened. From here, he went over to get his trial in Rome, since he was a Roman citizen. He had the right for a trial with Caesar, even though it was his fellow Pharisees that did not like that one of their own became a Christian, that persecuted him.